What's up, True Heel Heat? True Heel Heat.
What's up?
True Heel Heat. Hello, everyone. It's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube and Facebook for our WWE Royal Rumble 2023 Roundtable review, talking about last night's huge show from San Antonio, Texas, the Alamo Dome. And we got a star-studded cast of your favorite True Hill Heat contributors here to discuss the show from top to bottom. First, we have the one half of the marijuana enthusiasts over on Blunt Impact every single Thursday on twitch.tv/True Hill Heat Gaming. He's 1/3 of the NX3 crew on Tuesday nights here on the channel. And of course, he is the three-time baby making champion. This is Ness.
True Heels, what's the deal? Glad to be here this lovely Sunday morning to discuss what went down at the Royal Rumble, my favorite pay-per-view from WWE. Good to be here with my True Heel Heat family, so let's get into it.
And of course, we had to bring along the most indecisive person if he was going to be here or not. But he is the true draw because we know we're going to get the views whenever he's on here. You see him on the watch-alongs on Monday on Rated Raw Superstars, as well as Wednesdays with Elite Heat. You saw him last night on the Royal Rumble watch-along, the best artist of the True Hill Heat gang. It is Josh.
Yeah, so yesterday, since my pick at number one in the women's match won, I still got to renegotiate my contract. So definitely do that after the show.
This is true. We got to renegotiate. He's getting a raise for himself and Wendy after winning the Women's Royal Rumble. And finally, she's always fashionably late because she's the queen here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. You usually see her here on Sundays on Serving Facing Heels. She's my co-host every week on the True Hill Heat Flagship Podcast, Saturdays at 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. It's the princess of all the True Heels. Miss Krssi Luv is here.
Good morning. What a happy Sunday, peeps. What a way to start the way to WrestleMania. I mean, they knocked it out that park for sure.
There you go. I was gonna ask like one word to describe your feelings on the Royal Rumble, but
electrifying.
Electrifying. I don't know if I go that far.
Well,
the most electrifying man wasn't there.
No,
damn it.
Yeah. He could have swore up and down that man was gonna be there. Look at that. Disappointed. That's why you're not supposed to set your expectations so high, friend.
Papa was a Rolling Stone. Wherever he left his hat was his home, and he didn't leave it in San Antonio.
Parts of the show was very electrifying. How about that?
Indeed. Ness, what about you? One word to describe your feelings on the Royal Rumble 2023.
Overall, fun. I had a lot of fun watching. Had fun being on the live stream with everybody.
Yes.
So yeah, it was a lot of
fun.
fun.
Fun yesterday.
It was. You guys were awesome on the live stream. What about you, Josh? One word to describe Royal Rumble 2023.
I'm gonna go with fair. It was very fair. With a lot of the results. Yeah, a lot of the results.
Always, he has to balance everything.
Right.
Very fair because
Josh brings it back. He balances the scales.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it wasn't a bad show. It wasn't a bad show. I just think that there was expectations that people had, and it didn't happen. So that's why I said for me it was fair. because you didn't need all those bells and whistles of surprises to, overdo this show. That's just what it is. Especially that last segment, especially that very last segment. It kind of showed you didn't need the nostalgia feel of guys to come back. So that's why I call it fair.
That is a good word to describe it. Of course, we want to hear from all of you watching us. Thank you for joining us live here for the Roundtable review. Sound off in the live chat. We'll try to highlight as many of your comments as humanly possible. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to show your appreciation for what we do here and to the contributors here on the channel, your super chat donations is the best way to have your comment highlighted on screen and to help us out to do more videos like this following the big shows like the Royal Rumble 2023. We got everyone's favorite Phil Nation here with us.
Hey,
yo, it was good, really, really good. We also got Belle who says, I can't stay long, but I just wanted to say, poor Sami was weirdly very attracted to Roman, though. There we go. We also got Frantic World who says, what's up, True Hill Heat chat. We also got Vala B sending love to Stephanie, saying shout out to Stephanie, who generally deserves love more so today for dealing with weirdos from Raw 30 till today. Stephanie Hypes was supposed to be with us. Unfortunately, her daughter, she had an emergency meeting, so she had to miss out. But of course, she will be back next Sunday with Miss Krssi Luv for serving face and heels. So I will send her that shout out for sure.
Yes.
Vala B, thank you for that. But let's get into things as we also got Queen Monet saying good morning. Good morning to you as well, Queen Monet. But let's get into the Royal Rumble 2023 from San Antonio, Texas. What did you guys think about the crowd last night at the Royal Rumble?
They were good.
They were good. I think they did what they were supposed to do. They understood their assignments, I feel like.
Yeah.
They understood the assignment and they were there. They were there
and they cheered when they needed to cheer. They were silent when they needed to be silent. Like they were great. The people that was in the front, oh man, they were the stars of the show, I feel like.
And it was 51,338 in attendance at the Alamo Dome for this show. So a very good turnout for WWE for one of their big 4, big 5 pay-per-view of the year. And they started off with one of my favorites returning to the commentary table as Pat McAfee made his return to kick off the show to his great bop of a theme song. Great reaction for Pat McAfee. Awesome reaction from Corey Graves, who was not happy to see Pat McAfee because he knew that that Michael Cole was going to be on one throughout the whole show. Michael Cole's just always better when he's next to Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Commentary is always better, despite the fact, I will say, Pat McAfee hasn't been watching WWE in a couple of months.
At all.
You can tell from his commentary. What did y'all think about Pat back on commentary last night?
Good to see him there. You can tell that he was a little off, but I didn't really hear much of it because we was all on the stream, so we was talking over them anyway. So
he just had certain points where he was just saying stuff, and it was clear that he hasn't been watching. He's been focusing on the college football, which is okay.
That's totally fine. You got another job. Yep.
Totally fine. We also got Antoine in the chat who says, good morning, y'all. The payback Sami and Kevin will be priceless. We're going to definitely get into that. We also got Bala B with the super chat donation saying, of course, I need to mention now that Sami is out. I got to retire calling y'all my dogs. Yes, it's all right, Bala B. It was a great run, Bala B. Thank you so much for that super chat donation. You had a nice run calling us your dogs, but it's all over now. We're going to get to that. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about, in my opinion, one of the greatest angles at a WWE major event of all time that ended the show. But let's talk about the start of the show, y'all, as they started off with the men's Royal Rumble matchup. And I thought just sublime booking because the first two entrants was WWE's Match of the Year and True Hill Heat's Match of the Year for 2022. It was Gunther, the Intercontinental Intercontinental Champion at number 1 and Sheamus at number 2. Of course, these two men slugged it out to start off the match. The Miz came in at number 3 and he just annoyed the hell out of Sheamus and Gunther, and they were beating up on him for a bit. Kofi Kingston came out, and poor Kofi, 2 years in a row, he tries for his elimination thing, and
he fucks it up.
It fails. He tries to jump off the apron and onto the commentary chair, and he just bounces off and down to the floor. I think we should retire the Kofi spot, it seems.
Give it to Ricochet now. It's okay.
Probably Ricochet or Logan Paul. Johnny Gargano came in at number 5. Poor Johnny got no reaction from the San Antonio crowd.
Oh, that was sad. I felt bad for that.
Xavier Woods was number 6. Karrion Kross was number 7, who got kicked out in short order by number 9, Drew McIntyre. In between them was number 8, Chad Gable. Gable and Woods had a nice little amateur wrestling grappling exhibition. Santos Escobar came in at number 10 at that point. Then we had number 11, Angelo Dawkins. And then we got some real storyline progression as number 12 was Brock Lesnar. And
this
Brock
was,
immediately eliminates Dawkins, Escobar, and Gable, and he has a showdown, a face-off with the Intercontinental Champion Gunther, teasing a potential match down the line. Next out was number 13, Bobby Lashley, and after an exchange with Brock, Bobby Lashley eliminates Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, after winning the 2022 Royal Rumble, gets eliminated in 3 minutes, and poor number 14, Baron Corbin, he had to get jumped right after that.
Right, they did the disrespect. See, they don't. I was happy that he got to eliminate him. At least get some type of, like, you're not gonna keep throwing me down every damn fucking week, and I can't get nothing back from you.
He quickly got eliminated by number 15, Seth Rollins, who gave him a stomp and then threw him out after getting him in the ring. Otis was number 16. Number 17 was supposed to be Rey Mysterio, but he never came out after his music hit. Number 18 was his son Dominic, who came out with Rey's mask, teasing that he jumped his father backstage. Number 19 was Elias, who only Pat McAfee reacted to.
He got some heat last night.
Heat. No, yes, definitely. You could hear the San Antonio crowd really cared that Elias was out there. Finn Balor was number 20, and then number 21 was the only real surprise of this men's Royal Rumble match. Booker T in Texas. He hits a bookend in the ring and then does the spinner Rooney. And Gunther says, "I have no time for your nonsense," and eliminates Booker T in quick order. Damian Priest was number 22. Number 23 was Montez Ford. Number 24 was another surprise return, but not really a big surprise because he always returns in a Royal Rumble. His 4th time returning in a damn Royal Rumble.
Right.
The rated R superstar Edge eliminates Priest and Balor. He's about to eliminate Dom, but he gets into a stare down with Seth Rollins. Dom attempts to eliminate him, but then Balor and Priest come in and help Dom eliminate Edge from the matchup. Edge brawls with Priest and Balor up the entranceway as Austin Theory comes out at number 25. They brawl at the entranceway, and Rhea Ripley jumps Edge from behind, but Rhea is then shocked to see the returning Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix lays out Rhea Ripley in the entranceway with the spear, similarly setting up probably a mixed tag team matchup with Beth and Edge versus Judgment Day. Omos was number 26. Of course, number 27 was Braun Strowman. He eliminates Omos in short order. Braun Strowman's tag team partner Ricochet was number 28. Number 29 was another surprise return as Logan Paul made his return to WWE after injuring himself at Crown Jewel. And then finally, number 30 was the man that's been getting the hype packages for weeks, Cody Rhodes. We had a bunch of crazy stuff going on between this whole thing, and probably one of my favorites was, of course, the Logan Paul and Ricochet spot where these
Yes.
two men stood
Yes.
on opposite sides of the ring and basically looked at each other, was like, yeah, you want to do this? Yeah, let's do this. And did the spot from Worlds Collide that Carmelo Hayes and Ricochet did, but this was much more spectacular fashion as they flew across the ring and connected in mid-air. That is going to be on your Royal Rumble highlight reels for like the next 20-something years. I feel like at that point, Logan Paul was kind of taken out of the festivities. We got a bunch of eliminations, and it seemingly came down to a final three of Seth, Cody, and Gunther. Even the commentators were saying we were down to that as Cody and Seth did their stare down. Gunther got involved. Each man had like a pedigreeing the Intercontinental Champion. But then the commentators forgot, and all the people in San Antonio forgot that Logan Paul was still in this matchup.
Right.
And Logan Paul eliminates Seth Rollins, seemingly setting up a WrestleMania match between him and Seth. Logan Paul then gets the Crossroads, and he gets eliminated by Cody Rhodes, and we have a final two of Cody and Gunther, and these two men had a spectacular final 5 minutes battling it out with each other with the vicious chops of Gunther. Vicious slaps from Gunther to the torn pec of Cody. He was brutalizing him. Cody's chest was bright red by the end of this thing, but finally Cody hits the Crossroads on Gunther and then clotheslines him over the top rope to win the 2023 Royal Rumble matchup. Gunther, despite being the runner-up, sets the record for an hour and 11 minutes in a single Royal Rumble matchup, breaking the record in traditional Royal Rumbles by Rey Mysterio, but it is Cody Rhodes who stand tall in the end. He pays tribute to the Bullet Club and the Young Bucks with a Too Sweet. Also pays tribute to Kenny Omega with the gun, blowing out the gun. And of course, he had to do the point to the sign as the fireworks went off. What did you guys think about the men's Royal Rumble match? We'll start with Miss Krssi Luv. I gave the match 4.25 stars. I think it's a top 10 Royal Rumble matchup. Just all the storyline beats, how they set up matches for WrestleMania. This is what I want from the Royal Rumble match. I want to talk about all the matches that they set up, like Brock and Lashley, like Gunther and not only just Sheamus, a rematch could potentially happen. You also had them teasing maybe a triple threat with Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre, because Gunther eliminated both Sheamus and Drew McIntyre in this. You had the Gunther and Brock stare off. You had Logan Paul and Ricochet's moment. That could be a potential match. Logan Paul eliminating Seth Rollins could be a potential matchup. Cody Rhodes, of course, getting the championship match at WrestleMania. So many great things from this Rumble match. So that's why I give it 4.25 stars. Krssi Luv, what did you think?
So basically, Gunther, shout out to him. I did not think about him at all as a person that would have done. If you would have told me this, I would have like, nah, so y'all lying. I was like, I didn't even. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll say it now. I am sorry that I did not think about that man because he dominated the Royal Rumble. I mean, Cody was the winner, but that was the person that was a star last night. Just saying, he became that. He can be potentially another guy that can be in the showcase. He could probably win next year. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
I'd be for it. I'd be totally down for it.
He can definitely get that belt. He can definitely get one of the belts if it comes time to do it. He can do the job. Definitely can. Look what he's done to the IC title. He's made it important.
He has.
They didn't even care about that thing. So now this is like a big, like this is huge for him. So happy that he was like the diamond in the rough that we didn't even know that we was gonna get for this whole thing.
Yeah, Ness, what did you think about the men's Royal Rumble matchup?
I also gave it 4.25 stars. It was a major upgrade from the bullshit we got last year. Let's just start right there.
Not even last year, the last 2 years. Like to be honest, let's.
Well, last year it was really shitty.
Last year was an all-time worst Royal Rumble
yeah,
match.
Atlanta,
Yeah.
2021, it was in a Thunderdome, so there was this.
Oh.
That's stuff that they can't control
fine.
against them for
Okay,
that one.
okay. So no matter of fact, yeah, last year being the first time back in front of a crowd, you're supposed to knock it out the park. That is true.
They dropped that
totally,
ball.
They
totally botched it.
Both of them, yes.
But yeah, it was again, like I said, a lot of fun. One thing that really stood out to me was we had the WWE is all about the moments for shows like this, and like you said, you're running off with the face offs of the Lashley and Brock and Gunther, Gunther and Sheamus, Logan Paul potentially getting a Mania match against Seth Rollins, which I'd be all for that. But then the match actually had great wrestling in it. The Rumbles or Battle Royals, I don't usually think there's going to be like a lot of good actual wrestling going on. It's all about spots and cheap pops for the crowd, in my opinion. But there was a couple moments in there where the spots were crazy, and then the last however many minutes it was between Gunther and Cody, that at that point it didn't even feel like the Rumble anymore. It just felt like a regular wrestling match.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that comes. We get that again down the line. Gunther said, "Look, I took you to your limit in the Rumble, whatever the case may be." But yeah, 4.25. This was. Spoiler alert, this is my match of the night. Just go.
Yeah.
Josh, what about you? What did you think about the opener men's Royal Rumble match?
I thought it was great. Person that needed to win won. Like I said earlier, it wasn't that many surprises, but this Rumble, you kind of didn't need it because, like I said, the whole aspect of trying to improve from last year, that was probably the focus, and they ended up doing that. So I mean, it ended up being it was a good men's Royal Rumble match. So there you go.
Yeah, all around. I would say my biggest nitpick, though, yes, because I always have to have a nitpick. Because I honestly, right after the match, I was 4.5 stars, and then I went down to 4.25 because Cody coming in at number 30, I think, was a mistake. I know him with the torn pec. With the torn pec, you don't want to have him wrestle that long, but he needed to come out a little bit earlier to make it feel like he really earned it. Even though I would say the final 5 minutes with Gunther made him feel like it was an earned victory, I thought they could have done more to kind of not make it as easy for Cody, because you had number 1 versus number 30, and I know that was probably the point. They wanted number 1 versus number 30 because that probably never happened before,
yeah.
But still, I think it would have meant more even if you switch positions. If you have Gunther at number 30 and Cody at number 1,
he had to fight to get to the end. Yeah, you had to prove why he really came back and what was he really wanted this win, and he needed to be in there longer than he was. I totally agree with you.
Yeah,
even number 10 wouldn't have been that bad.
And there was a lot of mid-card filler in this Rumble match with the Street Profits and the Alpha Academy.
Teams,
the tag teams. Maybe you could have added a surprise or two in those, but it's not enough for me to take away from how great this Royal Rumble match was. I saw people saying it was the best Royal Rumble match they ever seen. I won't go that far, but I would say it's a top 10 Royal Rumble match of all time.
Shit, they probably haven't seen that many Royal Rumble matches in period then.
Probably
but they haven't
true.
seen that many matches.
I even had people saying, "Oh, I don't remember a final 2 going this long." I was like, Shawn Michaels and Undertaker said hello. They went 10 minutes. Michaels and Taker back in 07. Even Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair went over 5 minutes in 2021 in the Thunderdome as well. John Elite asking, have number 1 and number 30 ever been in the final 2 in Rumble history? I don't think so. I think that is the first time they did. No, I want to say 2004. I got to go back and check, but I believe Big Show was number 30 against Chris Benoit, who was number 1 in the 2004 Royal Rumble. But that's a race from WWE history, so it's never happened before, guys. It's never happened before, guys. We got Frantic Worlds who says it was nice for Cody to show some love to AEW, the Elite, and Jay Briscoe. I didn't know did he do something for Jay Briscoe?
I don't think it was for Jay. We assumed it was for Jay, but it was really for Kenny.
Yeah. The gun was
Yeah.
for Kenny. Yeah. Because I think he would have done. If you're gonna do the gun and it's for Jay, you would do it to the sky. Reach for the
Right.
sky, boy. Yeah, that's what you would do. But we also got Antoine who says if Cody wasn't in it, I wouldn't mind Gunther winning. Yeah, it would have been a shock, but I even put on my Twitter after the match, Gunther was robbed. Gunther should have won this. After that performance, I would have been totally fine with
I would have
Gunther
been fine
winning.
with I would have been fine either one of them winning. Yeah, but Gunther proved himself from the beginning to the end. Like I wouldn't have been mad either way. So
We got Will Chisholm who says, I don't care how many times you throw up the too sweet. You was never Bullet Club leader, Cody. Yeah, a lot of people get that confused. A lot of people say, oh, Cody was a Bullet Club leader. No, he wasn't. No, he tried. He tried his damnedest. He tried.
Work out the best for him.
It didn't work out for him. I was there live in San Francisco when he lost to Kenny and lost that opportunity.
Wow.
John Elite saying lacking surprises for the men's Royal Rumble. Yeah, that was another nitpick that you could probably say there wasn't any real surprises outside of Booker T, and Booker T kind of gave that away, saying that he was waiting for his invitation to the Royal Rumble on his
on
podcast.
On the podcast.
But
Yeah,
but also, you know what it is too? Maybe that's why the men's Royal Rumble started the show, because of that, because there wasn't a lot of surprises. So I think that kind of helped them out. Because imagine if you would have, for example, right, Stone Cold's name was thrown out. If you would have had Stone Cold in the Royal Rumble that early, I think it would have been like, I think you kind of killed the crowd like that, because they would have burned out. So I think I think that's part of it. I think that's part of the reason why it was a good spot for that Rumble to start off the show, because there wasn't a lot of surprises.
Exactly, and I said to Romeo before the show started that the fact that the men's Royal Rumble was starting the show, there was no way they were going to boo Cody winning, regardless of it being telegraphed, which I thought it was very telegraphed that he was going to win this one. But there was no way they were going to boo it.
They gave it away weeks ago. Yeah. Weeks ago. I mean, a shoo-in. That's why me personally, I didn't think about Gunther being like the unsung hero of the men's Rumble.
And then for Ness, we got no NXT men. Oh, why not? Were you disappointed nobody from NXT was in the match?
No, honestly, no. And I didn't expect I didn't expect Booker T to be in there, to be honest. Yeah. But the reason is because they don't need to fill spots on the main roster men. The women's talent, I don't even think there's 30 main roster women. Yeah. So I expected them to have some type of surprises. Far as that, we'll talk about that when we get there. But they couldn't even get all the main roster men in the Royal Rumble, so I didn't expect that.
And I think part of it too is that, remember the last time when Braun Breaker had a match in the main roster, he had like no type of reaction. So they probably just didn't want to put themselves in a situation where that happened again.
Right. That's true. Probably so. Nate Milton saying Cody Devontae Rose did it for the culture, fam. This man's promos finna be fire next month. Hashtag Rose to WrestleMania. Hashtag Black History Month. Yes, our civil rights leader. He's on top, y'all. He did it for the culture. He did it for the culture. Cody Devontae Rhodes. This was his "I Have a Dream" speech. This was him. This was his Million Man March. He did it for the Bullet Club. He did it for the culture. He did it for the Black community. He's going to talk about how him and Brandy having a mixed race baby caused him to become the Royal Rumble winner, and this is why Liberty. In the Black History Month he's going to continue his march to WrestleMania. He's going to make every month Black History Month, because he's going to be the next undisputed Universal Champion.
I think it's more funny that he chose the name Devontae for his middle name.
Yes, we've been preaching this since WrestleMania 38. Shout out to Nate. He was on that review. Queen Monet says, I'm very happy for Cody. Predictable, but it was so awesome. Yeah, it worked out very well for WWE in the way they did.
I'll just say this. This is something that, like I always say, like things are going to be predictable. It's just the execution. If it was a shitty Royal Rumble, knowing that we knew that Cody was going to win, then I can see some type of backlash. But
Yeah.
But also,
the whole
yeah,
Rumble
but then
was
also
great.
they put themselves, yeah. But they also put themselves in a good spot because Cody has been their biggest merch seller this week, especially in San Antonio. Apparently, in the superstores, his stuff got sold out. So I mean, he was the obvious choice, no matter what. I mean, this is what they're trying to go for. I know a lot of people were before the Rumble happened. You know, people were like, "Oh, you know, Sami should be in it. Sami should win." But I'm like, the whole aspect of Sami has nothing to do with him trying to win the Rumble. It's him getting back with KO.
Yeah.
And you know, so he wasn't even in the Rumble. And honestly, it was the best way to do it. Like, don't put him in the Rumble. And you know, I thought they did that very well, regardless of what fans want. What people got to understand too is there's a difference between what fans want and what the company wants. And the company wants a certain expectation where they can make money. Putting Sami in a main event at WrestleMania is probably not it because he's not going to bring you the most money. That's just realistically. We love Sami. He's just not that superstar that the company's looking for. Like, that's just what it is.
An interview with someone, and he literally said that. He's like,
Ariel,
I'm there. Yeah, he's like, yeah, entertainment wise, I'm there, but I'm not like the most physically fit guy, and you know, I'm not that type of aesthetic that the company wants to put at the top, which unfortunately is the truth. Like, because we know he's a great wrestler, we know he's a great entertainer. He just doesn't have the look that, you know, America or American companies and all that other entertainment and stuff will look for, unfortunately. And you know, they preach all this body positivity and let's be a star and all that other shit.
Well, I will also say Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio did confirm that Cody was the second option, and he only won the Royal Rumble because The Rock wasn't available. Just want to put that out there. I'm not trying to throw shade on Cody's parade.
Are you
not
serious?
That I have a personal vendetta against him or anything, but I'm just saying he was the second choice.
A personal vendetta.
After The Rock. It's okay. It's okay being the second choice. You were the choice at the end of the day. But you go from one of the all-time great Royal Rumble matches, top 10 Royal Rumble matches, to the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. LA Knight coming out first with yellow attire. We also had
I loved it. Go ahead, keep it.
Bray Wyatt coming out with his great entrance theme, and then we never knew what the match was actually gonna be, and then we got it once the bell rings, the lights went out, and everything was neon. The ropes were neon, the mat was neon, the barricade was neon. Even Bray Wyatt was glow in the dark with his face plain glow in the dark. Bray was his intimidating self, choke throwing Knight. They head to the outside where Bray loaded up the announce table and put the steel steps next to it, and then LA Knight launched off of the barricade onto Bray Wyatt, going through the announce table with neon shit going everywhere. They didn't get back into the ring, and LA Knight hits him a few times with the kendo stick, but this just seems to wake up Bray, and Bray hits Sister Abigail for the win in 5 minutes and 3 seconds. After the match, Bray Wyatt puts on a creepy new mask and stalks LA Knight, who is still with the kendo stick, having no effect on Bray because he's spooky, y'all. He's spooky, yeah. And he fights him over to a stage, and Bray puts the mandible claw on LA Knight, and then Uncle Howdy shows up. Yay, it's Uncle Howdy. Yay. And he's on a stand above Bray Wyatt, and he basically says, "I'm Darby Allin," and does a coffin drop off the stand onto LA Knight through the stage, and they do a whole bunch of fireworks and stuff, and then the camera flashes back up to the stand, and all the Firefly Funhouse characters are in real life, and they're real people, and this shit sucked. This was trash. This was trash. I tried my best.
The end of the ending, I didn't like.
The match was trash. The match was trash. They did 2 moves. He did the move through the table. And Bray did the choke throw. and he did Sister Abigail. That's 3
I'm
moves.
sorry, you guys.
And then
You
a
guys
couple
should
of
have been
kendo
how
six
to
shots.
enjoy it.
This looked like a laser tag meets a rave. It didn't add anything to the match, and it was good aesthetics.
It's a good aesthetics. I like the aesthetics. That's what it was. It was the aesthetics.
Good aesthetics. But I'm sorry. I watch wrestling for the wrestling. And that's why I said on social media, I said it in the chat yesterday, and I'm going to say here, Bray Wyatt is the greatest and then the bell rings wrestler of all time. I'm sorry. I've been down this road too many times where he gets you into the angle with the promos, with the vignettes, with the 5-5 Fun House, and then the bell rings and it's absolute trash. He is even greater. I think somebody on the stream last night was like, Ultimate Warrior is a then the bell rings guy. Ultimate Warrior has the Hulk Hogan match at WrestleMania 6 and the Macho Man Randy Savage match at WrestleMania 7. Bray Wyatt has the Daniel Bryan match and Rumble 2014. And that's about it. That's about it for Bray Wyatt when it comes to as high a quality as those 2 matches for Warrior. So 2-1, if you don't know math, if you're watching this show and you haven't done first grade math, 2 is better than 1. So Bray Wyatt is the greatest, and then the bell fucking rings, and it's absolute trash wrestler that I've ever seen in my lifetime. Oh my God. And if you're wondering my star rating, it's a fucking dud. It's a fucking dud. I'm not even gonna go negative. It doesn't even deserve stars. It's a fucking dud again. Anyone can go. I need a break. Josh,
okay. I didn't expect nothing great. I mean,
right, you told us not to expect anything good. Like you said it yourself. Don't set expectations as shit.
Yeah,
and you won't even get much of that.
But like the neon stuff looked cool, but that was about it. I mean, it was a glorified squash match. That's what it really was.
Man,
like
not a glorified squash. Damn.
It was. LNA did one move, and then Bray Wyatt basically just beat him down, and then won the match. Like it was a squash match. Like. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know what people are trying to expect when it comes to Bray Wyatt. I mean, I get his storytelling, I get all that stuff that he adds, but he hasn't had great matches. And it's not like he's a bad wrestler. He's just put in a situation where he's not going to have great matches, and that's just what it is. I think that's what people need to expect at this point. Like, you're not going to get anything great from him in the ring.
Okay. So what's next for him?
I don't know. That's
maybe
literally what I asked. I asked the question on social media. How does WWE book him as the top baby? Because he is the top baby face. He draws ratings. He draws merchandise sales. So they are right to kind of view him as a top baby face. But how do you book this man? Like, he's had good matches, but they literally don't help him with this booking of these type of matches. And that's what did you think about this?
My star rating, I was going to be nice.
Right, like, damn, I feel so bad.
I'll give it 2. I give 2 stars. Mainly because
2 stars, very generous.
Very generous.
Very generous.
It's because of the aesthetics. That's why I got my
guy being in the match.
Well, actually, my fault. You were high when you watched it. Okay,
I did.
Yeah,
that's understandable.
Me and Ness was lit. Yo,
he looked like that Busta Rhymes video.
We had a lot of fun with that.
Yo,
outside of just the aesthetics, everything.
Hey,
like you said, the match was. All right, let me ask this: when did he come back to WWE exactly, Bray?
October.
Officially, making
okay. So we waited. They made us wait all this time for him to officially have a match. Wasn't he supposed to have this match at another pay-per-view and they pushed it back to the Rumble?
No.
Oh, no. Well, we waited all this time for his in-ring re-debut for a squash 5-minute match that really doesn't amount to shit. So I have to agree with your sentiments. he is the number one, and then the bell, because that used to be the Miz for me. But the Miz, he can actually like
do things.
He can carry
he
a
can carry a
match.
match. Yeah,
Yeah, he can carry a match.
He's carried
When it comes to Bray,
several matches.
No, yeah, like it doesn't do like Bray's in ring doesn't do that for me. And I can separate it between people like, oh, I already know that you're a good talker, you're a good promo, and like I only need that out of you. But the way they push Bray and put him in these positions, it doesn't work out that great for him. And I feel like they handicapped. I feel like they handicapped him even more, making us wait for this to happen. And nothing really came about it. Like the match really wasn't that great. And then the best thing about it was everything that was the look of the match, and then the post match with Uncle Howdy jumping off of some shit and missing pretty much. But outside of that, like
yes, I didn't want to mention that Uncle Howdy completely whiffed.
No, you have to. You don't want to mention it. You have to mention that. That's the part that has to stick in people's head, that they did all of that and he missed. Like, what was the point of all of that? Like, were we supposed to know who he is? Like, are you guys going to introduce us now? Like, are they going to start wrestling? Like, what's the whole point of that? Like, that part I didn't understand. I don't get, and I thought was dumb because I'm like, well, they should have been surrounded by the ring. If that's the case, if we're going to see all of them. Like, the whole point of the family, if it's going to be there, like, if you're going to book it right, book it the shit right. Like, we seen them along the entrance when the ramp. They was all along the ramp when he was coming out. So I'm like, okay, why wasn't they at the ringside then? Why have them go stand on some damn makeshift cliff and then come off? I don't get it. I didn't get that part. And I didn't get it.
And I'm sorry to Film Nation. I can't. You can't use this excuse anymore. They're building the story.
What's the story?
No, they're dragging this shit out. There's a difference between long-term storytelling and a story that goes long. That's what we are in right now. We're in a story that has gone too fucking long without any answers. We don't know who Uncle Howdy is. We don't know if these Firefly Funhouse characters are actually going to be actual characters that wrestle or actually in a group with Bray. We don't know anything. And this started in October.
Yeah.
At the beginning of October. They didn't even have him come back on Halloween. They had him come back at the beginning of October.
That's true. You're right. They messed that up.
We're going 3 months where this story is still in the fucking first gear. That's the difference. That's the issue that I have here. And yes, I know there's going to be people that are not like Nate Milton and that are actually serious when they say, let it play out. I'm sorry. I've been down this Bray Wyatt road before. I was along for the ride when he was the cult leader and all the cryptic promos, and then he would lose to John Cena and lose to The Undertaker. And the stupid stuff when he would win, like Dean Ambrose giving a monitor blowing up in his face. It's like, yo, this is why he is the biggest and the greatest, and then the bell rings wrestler of all time. I am over it. I was along for the ride. Krssi knows on Drew Hill Heat. Was so excited for him to be back. I loved his first promo back. I loved the interactions with LA Knight back in November. Yes, this started in November with LA Knight. And now we get to the final match. And what did LA Knight gain from any of this?
Nothing. He just gave great promos and he was good on the mic. He did his part of his job.
Getting his name back.
Yeah. Like, he did his part of the job. Unfortunately, like, what happens with the two of them?
I don't.
Yeah, let's speed this up because we need to get to the women's one. Let's hurry this.
Our boy June Nicholas saying, I didn't need LA Knight back to just job to Bray in a terrible match. Might as well bring him back as Max Dupree again, because what the hell do they do with him now? Yeah, I don't know. He can't go to the Intercontinental title scene because Gunther's a heel and stuff like that. So that would be a quick fist. Who does he feud with now? I don't know coming out of this. Why couldn't they just have a no disqualification brawl? Because that's what Bray Wyatt's good at. You have him a brawl where he can beat up on LA Knight. LA Knight can get some offense on him. This shit. WWE, come on. Can
I say this real quick? The next match that Bray has and somebody hits him with a kendo stick and he sells it, I'm turning that shit off. Because he didn't sell that shit last night with his scary mask on, or whatever, or maybe that's the reason why. But yeah, the next time he's in a match and he has to, and he's not, and he does sell the shit, there's no continuity here. Boy, you either gotta sell or you're not gonna sell. What are we doing here?
I don't know how Paul can book what we saw at the end of the night and this shit. How is this the same booker? How? We got Vala B who says, more than anything, because I'm a negative Nancy of sorts, I gotta talk about the Mountain Dew pitch crap match. He says, boy oh boy, Bray matches still suck. I know he wants to try something new and interesting, but at this rate, we might veer into scaffold match territory. Keech. And then he also says, Bray is all foreplay, dog. He finger bangs his fans.
Yeah.
He don't even let them clap. Wendy says they use the glow in the dark as a tribute to Naomi. WWE was like, Naomi is not going to be in the Rumble. The best we could do is use her feel the glow for the Bray Wyatt match. That's the looking at things a glass half full. Glass half full type of theory. And Nate asks us, I guess this is a good question for Josh. Was this worse than the Orton Worms on the mat match?
I don't think it was worse than that, but it's definitely up there.
I won't
it's
say.
Definitely
I'll
up
say,
there.
in my opinion, I don't think so either, because one, this match didn't go as long as that, and then he didn't lose to fucking Alexa Bliss bleeding from her mouth or whatever that had going on. Like all that other shit. There was too much stupid shit going on.
Yeah. But then also, you know what it was too for that night, the reason why it made it so bad is because that set tone for night 2, and it was a popcorn fart. So nobody was hyped
and they're not even talking about that match. They're talking about the Worms on the mat from WrestleMania 33, which I was there live for that. That was absolutely
and that was that was shit. That was worse. And won the title, and you would even know that he won the title. Like that's how underwhelming that was. Like he won the title, and there was like nobody gave a fuck about it.
Frantic Rail says Bray storyline is like Chris Jericho storyline in AEW. They are too good. They are too long and don't make any sense. At least Jericho has good matches though.
At least there's matches that come out of it. At least there's matches that come out of it. This took how many months for one match, and the match wasn't even good. It was less than 10 minutes. It was less than 10 minutes.
It was nearly less than 5 minutes. It just went 3 seconds over 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you just build this up.
Longer.
So like that's what
it might, it felt longer.
Yeah, like I mean, but that's why I can't use like what you said earlier. I can't use the whole building up story. Like I can't use that excuse anymore because it's like you guys build this up for months just to have a match that's less than 6 minutes. Like there's no storytelling to that. That's bullshit to me.
And then if you talk about a match that went short and probably like at least the pitch crap match, it was so bad we had to talk about it as long as we just did. I'm not going to talk about this match very long. Next was the Raw Women's Championship match. Alexa Bliss getting a shot at Bianca Belair. Ladies and gentlemen, this match went 7 minutes and 2 seconds, and it was a match. Bianca Belair obviously won the match. She hit the KOD on a quick KOD at that on Alexa Bliss when Alexa Bliss was on offense after getting a 2 count on a DDT, a 2 count on a backsplash. Bianca just hits a KOD. 1, 2, 3. The match is over.
Yep.
The match is over.
Like she didn't have no offense in it at all.
Post-match, we see a playground and visions of Uncle Howdy on the screen as Alexa Bliss is selling her loss. The lights go out and it's various visions and images from Alexa's past, and that was Alexa's still being haunted by Uncle Howdy. That's it. This match, I give it higher than the pitch crap match. At least that. It was 1 3/4 stars. I can't even go 2 stars. I'll go 1 3/4 stars, but this was a nothing match. This could have been on Raw.
That's what it felt like Raw, like Raw, maybe a main event if you want to call it that. I give it. I say 2.5. It was just there. It didn't benefit Bianca because like okay, she beats Alexa, so who gives a fuck? Alexa really didn't do that much in the match to stand out. And then like I just don't care about the whole that this. I'm sorry, I just don't care about everything with Bray Wyatt, and I really wanted to this storyline because now it just jumps from Bray to Alexa
To her, yeah,
doesn't
stupid.
need
It
that.
doesn't.
Like
Yeah,
we don't need this. Like we got her away from it, now we're just gonna pull her back into it. Like this, we don't need to keep doing this. And I'm so sorry, Bianca, that I have to rate one of your matches this low. And it's not your fault, sweetheart. I'm gonna tell you it's not your fault.
It's not.
It has nothing to do with you whatsoever.
Nope.
But yeah,
she's been doing her part, and she's been doing what she needs to do. It's just unfortunate that they're putting her with, they erase it, carbon cop. Let's do this one. Erase next person. Like that's just what is. That's the sad case because it's not her. It's just that again, they could have definitely done this a different way. I'll give it 2.5, if that, and that's being very, very generous. Bianca looked great.
I was gonna say the most positive thing I could say is Bianca's outfit looked great and Alexa's outfit looked great.
Yeah,
that's the most positive thing I could say.
They both look good. I mean, it's just like we don't even understand what happened in a pitch black match. You want us to now understand what we're supposed to happen with Alexa? How did we what are we doing here? I still don't understand the whole correlation of the two stories. Why after all this time, why have we not gotten anything yet? There's nothing and I'm still lost. Are they going to give us anything else on Monday? Probably not.
I would hope. Josh, what did you think about Alexa versus Bianca?
To be honest, I didn't pay attention to the match.
Damn, Josh! Wow, you was all on the same watch along. How did you not pay attention?
Because I just didn't pay attention. I was focused on other stuff.
Great answer.
That is a great answer. That's the best answer we've heard so far about this. And to answer Jay, yes, we are in the Bianca wins LOL territory. I said this when we did our little predictions on True Heat. I was like, it's Bianca wins LOL territory, and they've built her up as this John Cena character. I'm happy and it's great for her. I'm fine with it. That. But it doesn't make a lot of these matches interesting anymore.
Yeah, and that's why she's in a tough spot right now. So it's not like she's not doing, it's not like she's bad. I still think she's great. It's just she's just being fed these opponents that we kind of know the results to it at the moment. So I mean, that's just what it is.
It is like that. And on to answer Frantic World, what is Triple H doing with the WWE Women's Division? Just when you were asking that question, we had the next match though, where he did have some good booking. But hey, we had over 50 people at one point watching the show. Remember to drop the thumbs up on the video, share it with your friends. Thank you for joining us for our Royal Rumble 2023 Roundtable review. And let's get into the second Royal Rumble match on this card, as it was the women's Royal Rumble match. And once again, some great booking with the first two entrants, as it was Rhea Ripley coming in at number 1. And I was just like, oh shit, man. I was like, that's my pick. And she's coming in at number 1. Damn.
But see, this is what they should have did to Cody. Like, I don't understand how they fucked that up. But I'm sorry. You go ahead.
Shit, that was my pick. No, that was my pick. Like the random draw shit. This was my pick. I was number 1.
I put 2.
I was number 1. I was like, oh damn. I was like, I'm happy I got Rhea, but I was like, damn, this ain't looking good for me.
Then we had Liv Morgan coming in at number 2, even though this probably should have been flipped because Liv, the whole build-up said that she was going to be number 1. She still started off the match, but I was a little confused by that. So we had Liv and Rhea starting things off in the Women's Royal Rumble matchup. Coming in at number 3 was Dana Brooke. Yeah. Coming in at number 4 was Emma.
Yep.
Yeah. Shayna Baszler was number 5. Bayley came in at number 6. She immediately took Oblivion from Liv Morgan. B-Fab was number 7. Yep. Yeah. She has a wrong choice of hair to be wrestling, because every single move she was brushing off the braids.
Put in a bun. Like, why did you have put in a ponytail? Like, put it out of your way. It's not like it's regular hair. Like, her whole outfit, the whole attire, wrong. And
she was the first woman eliminated from this matchup. Coming in at number 8 was one of the first surprises of the Women's Royal Rumble, the NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez. Coming in at number 9 was Dakota Kai. Number 10 was Io Sky. And this started a stretch for Damage Control where they started dominating a bit and eliminating folks, coming together to do some three-way offense, eliminating Dana Brooke, Emma, and whatnot. Natalya made her return at number 11, going after Shayna Baszler for putting her on the shelf. Candice LeRae was number 12, and poor Candice, like her husband, got no reaction. Zoe Stark was another surprise at number 13 from NXT. Xia Li was number 14. At this point, Damage Control was still dominant, eliminating Natalya and Shayna Baszler at the same time, eliminating Candice LeRae as well. And then number 15, the man came around, and Becky Lynch went immediately after Damage Control. She was taken out over the announce table by Damage Control, but wasn't eliminated. Tegan Knox was number 16. We got at number 18 was probably my favorite moment of this entire Women's Royal Rumble match. Asuka made her return, and she was in full-on Kana mode. She had a tiger clown face paint, short hair, very reminiscent of her Kana persona back in Stardom, and she started cleaning house in this one. Then they followed that up with Piper Niven making her return as Piper Niven and not as no damn freaking dewdrop. I loved commentary though, was saying she just dropped her. Dude, yes she did. Yes she do. They were great. Corey Graves and Pat McAfee and Michael Cole were just having a laugh at that point. Tamina came in at number 19. Number 20
didn't need her.
Number 20 was Chelsea Green. Green immediately gets eliminated, setting the record for the shortest amount of time in a Women's Royal Rumble match.
Oh my God. Go ahead. Keep going.
Rhea Ripley eliminating her. Asuka was great in this matchup. Bunch of offense, just quick strikes. She was just the best wrestler in this whole entire matchup, in my opinion. Zelina Vega was number 21. She had a nice Street Fighter sponsorship outfit on, so she got a good run in here. We got a Street Fighter sequence between her and Xia Li with Zelina Vega eliminating her. Raquel Rodriguez got a nice little pop in her home state of Texas, coming in at number 22. Mia Yim was number 23. Lacey Evans number 24, and no one reacted. Then we had a nice.
It's over for Lacey. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're like the Lacey Evans experience is over. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Number 24, number 25 was actually a surprise a bit, because earlier in the show, during the Bianca Belair and Alexa Bliss match, they showed Michelle McCool in the front row with her kids, and then number 25 was Michelle McCool as she came out the crowd, still in her Uggs boots, and wrestled.
She almost fell and almost blew it though. Like, you almost blew this, sis. Like, when doing too much was a person, it was her.
She did in fact almost trip over jumping over the barricade.
Doing too much.
Number 26 was another NXT star in Indy Hartwell. Then number 27 was Sonya Deville. What happened? Go ahead.
How did it? When you finish announcing everyone, then we'll talk about who they should have put in the Royal Rumble. Go ahead.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that I was just
missed opportunities.
This could have been a chance for this person to have their shot, but they decided not to. Number 27 was Sonya Deville, which made no fucking sense because she has a shot at the SmackDown Women's Championship coming up on Friday. But Sonya comes in and she eliminates Zoe Starks and tells her to go back to NXT. She also eliminates Indy Hartwell, so Sonya Deville hates NXT apparently. Then she had a nice little sequence with Asuka during that point as well. Then we get a sequence where Becky Lynch eliminates Dakota Kai, Io Sky. She's about to eliminate Bayley, but Bayley eliminates Becky instead. But then Bayley is immediately eliminated by Liv Morgan, and Becky brawls with Damage Control through the crowd. Number 28 was Shotzi coming out with her tank. Number 29 was Nikki Cross, who did the full sprint down to the fucking ring. I love her for that. Love her so much. She's great. She's awesome. And then number 30.
Go ahead.
Not before the fucking countdown clock,
Yes,
because the production and music person is on crack or not paying attention like Josh was during the watch along.
They got to 8 and they just took it off because the music had already. You already did the music.
The music started before 10.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. They did the music and then they had the countdown.
Correction. It was the women's title match that I didn't pay attention to.
I know. I was kidding, sir. But number 30 was Nia Jax. I'm not like most girls. I still love her theme song.
This is
Lucky for me, I'm not like most girls. And everyone stopped and stared at the giant Nia Jax coming down to the ring. Nia Jax talking shit to everyone who was left in the Women's Royal Rumble at this point. They all try to attack her at once, and she just shrugs them all off and says, I'm back, bitch. She has a stare down with the biggest woman in the matchup in Raquel Rodriguez. Then they start hitting offense on Nia Jax, everyone coming after her. Rhea Ripley tries to get her up for a slam, but no, that didn't work out. She then hits the Riptide and a very short fall for that Riptide. Horrible looking Riptide, but fair enough. Plants Nia Jax, and then everyone decides to eliminate the former Raw Women's Champion.
How the fuck do you fuck that up? How the fuck? Like, that's when the edible was at its peak at that time, and everyone that was on the watch along saw it happen. I'm like, I was out of control. I didn't understand what was happening. I think I was having an out of body experience because this shit right here, there was something very, very fucking wrong with this whole fucking thing. One, you mess up her entrance. Two, you make her number 30. Out of all people, we could have gotten rid of Tamina. We didn't need her. We didn't need Dana Brooke. We didn't need her neither. There's so many people that you could have had in this match. Don't know why they were not there. That's fine. Nia Jax coming in at number 30. Didn't even think about that. I didn't think nothing about that. Then she makes the whole like production saying she's back, then gets fucking eliminated. Throw the whole fucking Royal Rumble in the fucking garbage. How do you how she didn't even get to the final four? I don't understand why she was not at the final four. Why? Then you give us little sprinkles of the things that happen. Her and Raquel want to see it. Her and Piper want to see it. Who told you to? I was with the women until they did this part, and it was just like the men went to
be fair, it was best that they kept the Nia Jax portion of this match short. But we get a parade of eliminations to end the matchup.
Fine.
Raquel eliminates Lacey Evans. Asuka and Sonya Deville go at it, with Asuka eliminating Sonya Deville. Michelle McCool is out with Shotzi and Mia Yim.
Way too long. Why?
With Shotzi and Mia Yim also being eliminated. Piper Nevin starts cleaning house, but she's eventually eliminated by Raquel. Then Rhea Ripley eliminates Raquel. Liv Morgan eliminates Nikki Cross. And then we are down to a final three. And Asuka is very happy as she was the 2018 winner. And she's in there with Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, who started out 1 and 2. At this point, Liv and Rhea had already broke the record set by Bianca Belair in 2021 for the longest stretch in a women's Royal Rumble match. And we got a really good final three between these two ladies. Morgan gets tossed by Rhea into a code breaker on Asuka. All three women wind up on the apron, with Asuka spitting the mist into Liv Morgan's eyes. Then Rhea eliminates Asuka, and then it's down to Rhea and Liv. Liv kicks Rhea, and Rhea slips off the apron. She holds on, her feet just hovering over the floor, but eventually she pulls Liv down with her legs, pulling her into a head scissors down to the floor. And Rhea Ripley is your 2023 Women's Royal Rumble winner. She sets the record for the longest time in a Women's Royal Rumble match, and this was the right choice. Rhea Ripley was the odds-on favorite going into the match, but how they presented her going from the start to through the whole thing, kind of being the glue of this matchup. It wasn't a great Royal Rumble match, but I thought it was pretty good. So
better than last year.
Yes, definitely better than last year.
Better than last year.
I gave it 3.5 stars. I thought that this was well done in establishing Rhea Ripley as the next contender, and it creates an interesting scenario where you have SmackDown Women's Champion in Charlotte, the woman that beat her at WrestleMania 36, a woman that she's never been able to beat.
Yeah.
And then you got Bianca Belair, a woman that she's basically paralleled their whole career, starting in the Performance Center together, coming up from NXT together, both winning their first women's championships back 2 years ago at WrestleMania 37. And they have already teased this match in the War Games and before War Games in November. So a lot of interesting things coming out of this with Rhea Ripley winning. It didn't have a lot of the setups that the men's Royal Rumble match does. So that's why I gave it 3.5 stars. At this point, we got 80 people watching. So remember, guys, drop the thumbs up on the video and sound off in the live chat. We're going to highlight as many of your comments as possible. Of course, if you want to make sure your comment is highlighted, send a super chat donation. But let's go to the lady of the panel first, Miss Krssi Luv. What was your thoughts on the Women's Royal Rumble? You let a little bit of that out during my recap, but let it all out.
I'm so sorry. Yes, I apologize. Great ending. Again, knew Rhea would win. Didn't know how her transition through this whole Royal Rumble match would have been. And job well done to her because she did her thing. I think who picked Liv? Was it Chris G that had Liv Morgan all the way to the end?
I think he had it with the the random drawing.
Yeah, he didn't pick her.
No one was thinking about Liv Morgan.
It was a random draw
like that.
and he was number 2.
That Liv Morgan would have been number 2 and stayed to the end. I didn't think that. Again, these are people that you don't really pay much attention. We're not thinking about all right, who's going to win? Then who's going to get me to be the winner towards that? You have to have those other people they didn't give her a good deal during her run as champion, but she could do things when it counts for it. She's there. She can she can deliver on those things. So, she's one of those people that can say, you know what, we can put Liv in there. Liv is going to make it look good and we're going to go, and they can keep going on their merry way. But this other person's going to win. They're the person on top. Great spot. Different spots was good. It wasn't a great women's rumble. They had different things in the sandwich that was delicious and the meal. The ending was great. Seeing Asuka, we marked the hell out. So good. Really good. She looked amazing. And to see her at the end, good. That's other little fights that can happen in between now too, that you could set Asuka up with anybody. So, and Rhea can pick, she can go against Charlotte and do Grand Slam, or then we can go over to, Bianca and just do that, add that to the collection of things. I mean, I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, some interesting things set up. Like I said, Asuka was my MVP. Outside of Rhea, I would say Asuka was kind of the best person in this match. Josh, what did you think about the Women's Royal Rumble match?
I don't know. I was mixed about it. There was a lot of good stuff about it, but then there was a lot of not so great stuff. Yeah, Asuka was great. I thought her coming back in that fashion. They were bringing me back to her Stardom days, which I was like, yes, finally, this is kind of what you need from her. You needed a spark,
a revamp,
from her. Yeah, and I felt sometimes when you try to. When you go back to an old character, sometimes it could be hit and miss, and I thought this was a big hit for her, and I think that this is something that they should continue with. Hopefully, that last Royal Rumble spot, I mean, it is what it is. I just don't understand why she's back. To be honest with you, she's not a very good wrestler. She's one of the most unsafe workers in the industry. She accused the company of faking COVID tests, and you bring her back. Great job, WWE.
Oh shit! I forgot all about that.
Yes, I forgot too.
Yeah, Josh with the receipt, son. Damn.
I'm just saying. This woman tried to expose the company, and then you bring her back. Yeah. You bring her back.
Well, Paul loves his mid-level NXT talent.
He does, though. He really has a
and it's I don't know her as a
She's not coming back. She was like, fuck
Yeah.
all of y'all.
You know, like
I like
you know,
being at home.
and the thing is
My man
that
can do
is
everything
that
else. I don't need to go.
yeah,
I don't need to go to work.
yeah,
Okay.
and you know, and the thing is that I don't know her as a person either. You know, I don't know how she is as a person, but at
Look
the
at
same
every
time,
other
I'm like,
bloodline
I'm
family
only
members
going by
are the
what I
ones
see
that
on
needs to
TV.
fucking be there.
Yeah, I'm just going by what I see on TV. You know, like I said, she's unsafe. She doesn't. What I have a problem with too is that when she's unsafe, she doesn't really acknowledge it. She tries to go with this heel tactic, and it's like, no, this is not how you do it. Like, this is not how you go about it when you just literally hurt somebody in the ring. But besides that, I thought what they did was great with the 1 and 2 picks, them being at the end, like they started and then them finishing basically the Rumble match. I thought that was great. I was happy that, you know, from the random draw, I was number 1, so I was like, fuck, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get somebody that's a bum. So I was happy I got Rhea. So I was like, all right, at least I could go out with dignity. But then she ends up winning, so I was like, holy shit. And honestly, I thought that shit, and I thought it was rigged at first, because I mean, how is it that
he was saying that he said that
how is it that Follow By? Wait, no,
both
I'm saying
matches.
because how is it that Follow By had number 30 in the men's and he had number 29 in the women's? I feel like that was a setup. I mean, granted, I ended up winning the women's one, but I'm like, yo, what's going on here? But besides that, I mean, like I said, like Krssi said, right? There was a lot of good stuff, a lot of stuff that wasn't that great, but at the end, I think the right person did win. I mean, I guess at this point, that's all that really matters, right? Like if the person that should win wins, I guess that's what should matter, I guess. But you know, they did kind of build up on a few stuff. I did that's what I liked about the match too. But I mean, you know, match it is what it is. People expected Naomi. I kind of didn't really expect Naomi, to be honest with you. There was just something about it that I was like, I don't think she's coming back, at least not right now. But I mean, hey, the right woman won, so I'll take it.
Okay, so if she don't come back, then when should she come back?
No, I'm saying I don't know. Like, I have no idea.
I don't think it would have been a good idea for the third time to bring back Naomi and her not win.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been, and then, but that's why I thought if you're gonna bring her back, you should have her win it. If she was not gonna win it, don't bring her back. That's how it felt.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree with that. What did you think about the Women's Royal Rumble match, Ness?
Yeah. So, watching it live last night, I really wasn't that as much interested as I thought I was going to be, especially like the previous years. And then getting on social media this morning, like I told you and Josh before we went live, see all these people, oh, it was the best Royal Rumble. It was much better than the men's. So I'm like, let me rewatch this. And I literally rewatched it and finished it right before we got on stream.
Same.
And I still feel that after rewatching it, I still feel like they could have did a lot better. I'll give it 2 3/4 stars. I feel like it was just a lot of dry spots. Like, okay, we have this person coming out, and I'm just like, all right, I don't really care about this person. The crowd doesn't care. Crowd doesn't care. A lot of filler. It was nice to see, the NXT ladies from, me being familiar with them from doing NX3. But there really wasn't any outside of.
Hell no, Francie, are you kidding me? Sorry. Are you kidding me? They got every bloodline member that does not need to be there.
Yeah, honestly.
Tamina, really? Why do we need Tamina there? Like, come on.
We definitely don't need to go down that.
And then what made it worse is that they had both of them. I'm like, huh? That's where my mind was at Tamina, she's like Natty. Like, they just get the honorary. They're just there because of their dads. Sorry to say.
Even though Tamina's dad is a murderer.
Oh. Yeah, ain't lying.
What I say? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The truth hurts.
You're right, but
and the man that covered it up is back at the helm after covering up all other types of shit.
That too. That's okay. Again, you have the bloodline people that don't even need to be that. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
No,
Smith.
that's but yeah, outside of I want to say the triple threat aspect of it between Rhea, Liv, and Asuka, like I just felt like they're like the wrestling in this match really wasn't that great either. Like it's a few botches. Not that again, it's a clusterfuck of a match, so I'm expecting it not to be perfect, but it was a lot missing for me personally. But the person who won, I'm glad she did. She looked strong, especially, starting number one after being speared by Beth Phoenix. So it made her look even stronger. And then also her and Liv, they were a tag team at one point. So for them to pretty much go the full stretch, I like that little underlining story as well. So there was a sprinkle of a couple of good things, but like overall, it just really didn't do it for me. I had my expectations up for this, and that's on me. So I shouldn't even blame them. I was the one expecting a lot more out of this, and I didn't get it. So that's on me. I'll take the L.
We got a super chat donation here from Kid Get Money. Thank you so much, Kid Get Money. We appreciate you. You were given a lot of super chat donations during last night's watch along, and those always help us out here on the channel. And he says, "The real Big Sexy is back. Glad to see Nia Jax." The real Big Sexy. That's her new nickname here on the Trio Heat YouTube channel. The real Big Sexy. Big. Oh man, the banger of a theme song. See, even Nate agrees that I'm not like most girls. Goes hard in the paint. Yes, it does. Come on, y'all. Y'all need to jump on that bandwagon. There ain't many good things about Nia Jax, but her theme song is exceptional.
Oh God. Well, I mean, like.
I'm just saying. Frantic World says they did Chelsea Green so wrong. She should have stayed in Impact. I mean, she came in, she got eliminated in 5 seconds.
That was terrible. Like
she was fucking injured. Like I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
Might have injured her on that. Queen Monet says Rhea winning had me in tears. I'm so happy for her. She smashed records and made so much history. And according to Graves and Cole, it seems like she's about to be a Mania main eventer. That's insane. To be fair, Queen Monet, they say that for every Royal Rumble winner, and not every Royal Rumble winner main events WrestleMania. So
she ain't gonna main event. Unfortunately, she's not gonna main event.
I wouldn't mind them, having that as the night one main event if they're gonna do Cody versus Roman.
I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, undisputed Universal Championship.
Open up the show.
Yeah. It's just I wouldn't mind it, but you know how WWE is. They're gonna try to find a way of, hey, we got to bring somebody. So I think they're doing their best to try to have Roman Reigns work double duty. I think that's just what it is at this point.
We got Drew who says Rhea and Liv setting the Iron Woman's record was a great way to end this match. I do agree with that. That was a nice little showcase, especially for Liv in defeat. We had Nate who said the Women's Rumble match was good, but unfortunately, a lot of the early participants felt underwhelming or generic. And I know number 30 pissed everybody off, but it made my night. Nihilist. He's a hashtag nihilist. He's a nihilist. Delusion.
I want to have what he's smoking.
Break and bake, baby. Delusion group says, how the fuck do you fuck that up? LOL. Love Miss Krssi Luv. Yes. That is the quote. The quote of the roundtable review so far is Krssi Luv saying, "How do you fuck that up?" And apparently we're making Phil Nation not be able to breathe. So let's stop with all the jokes, y'all. Come on. And no, Aaron, I cannot live without Nia Jax theme song. So you cannot live without Nia Jax theme song because she's not like most girls. This is the truth. There's truth being said. She's not like most girls.
She's not.
It's
just
don't say the company.
She's not.
They covered.
She's not. It's just it's just it's not really a compliment. That's the thing. So technically, the music is right. It's just not.
We've given it too much time as it is.
Hey, Lucky for me, she's not like most girls. At least the women's Royal Rumble had constant fights all over the ring, whereas the men just rest on the mat, waiting to feed themselves to the next entrance. You apparently missed the whole part where Rhea Ripley laid on the corner and on the steel steps. Literally, they did a close-up camera shot of Rhea Ripley just chilling like this. She also laid on the apron so they can wipe off the blood because she apparently broke her nose. So I don't know what you were talking about.
Her top was coming unzipped too, so someone had to go and help zip that back up as well. There was a few times where she had to like go and get to the side. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. There was a lot of wrestling in both women's the women's and men's Rumble matches. Drew saying the benefit of 2 nights of Mania now is that both Rumble winners can main event. There's absolutely no reason to not have that happen now. I do agree with that. Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, I believe, both deserve to main event.
I agree with that, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, they're gonna do what they want because last year, I mean, we had a great match with Becky and Bianca, and that didn't main event. So
this is true.
Yeah,
this is true. And that would have been very appropriate to main event because you had the 2 women that won the main events of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
The main event at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, again, he is not, you're not wrong, but I'm like, it's going to be what they're going to end up doing at the end of the day. So that's what it is.
Indeed. And then we had what everybody was waiting for. Hardy performs the show's theme song with commentary, basically ignoring.
Why is this a thing? Why is this a thing?
No, in actuality, the next thing we will talk about was of course the main event of the Royal Rumble for the first time, guys, since 2013. A non-Royal Rumble matchup main evented the Royal Rumble since The Rock versus CM Punk back in 2013. This also happened in 2006 when The Undertaker returned after Kurt Angle versus Mark Henry. That also main evented that Royal Rumble, but we had Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. We got to talk about the pre-show because it had a small little segment with the Bloodline with Roman about to get mad at Sami for showing up at SmackDown. But once again, Jey Uso stepped up for Sami Zayn and said that it was on me, dog. It was on me, Tribal Chief. I'm the one that called Sami, and Sami came through for the family. And he said he came through for the family. Okay, why are we even talking about that? Let's talk about tonight. Let's talk about tonight. You guys are going to stay in the back. And Sami, you stay by my side. So Sami would be in the corner as Roman Reigns went one-on-one with his former best friend, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens getting a good reaction to come out, as did Roman Reigns, along with Sami Zayn. Early on in the matchup, we had Sami Uso chant for the honorary Uso. These guys went back and forth, had a pretty good match. Around the 15 minute mark, the referee went down for a referee bump. Roman hit a low blow and asked Sami Zayn for a steel chair. Unfortunately, Sami hesitated, giving him the steel chair, and that led to Owens hitting a stunner for a very close near fall in this one. Owens kept kicking out of the spear. He hit 2 spears in the ring with Owens kicking out both times. A third spear happened on the outside on the floor after Sami slightly distracted Kevin Owens. All the while, Sami Zayn throughout this match was looking conflicted on whether he was happy for Roman or mad at Roman or happy for Kevin Owens, mad at Kevin Owens throughout this. In the end, Sami's heart seemed to get to him by the end of this as Roman Reigns started brutalizing Kevin Owens with flat back bumps into the steel steps with Kevin Owens, the back of his head hitting the steel steps. Roman brought him into the ring as Paul Heyman is going on preaching on the ring. We acknowledge you, Tribal Chief. Humility acknowledge you, Tribal Chief. And this leads to Roman picking up Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens slaps him across the face after Roman slaps him a few times, and then he eventually hits a 4th spear for the 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns retains the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. We had a slight little botch by Kevin Owens in this one when he tried for the double jump moonsault. So
just a tinge.
just a tinge. So that took a little bit off of this matchup. The matchup itself, I give it 3.5 stars, but no one will be talking about the match.
Nope.
It's all about the post match.
ending. Yep.
A Roman Reigns, he celebrates the win. We got a Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and Solo Sikoa coming out to the ring. Jey attempts to put a lay over Sami Zayn, officially acknowledging him in the bloodline, but Roman says, "Hang on a minute. Let's do this beatdown. Let's do this beatdown here." So they start beating down on Kevin Owens. The Usos hit the 1D on Kevin Owens. They drag him over to the corner. They put a chair around his neck, and Solo Sikoa does the Umaga running hip attack. Then Roman Reigns pulls out handcuffs, and he wants to even further beat down Kevin. And Sami, all the while, is looking more and more conflicted about what is going on here. Kevin Owens is handcuffed, and the Usos start raining down super kick after super kick onto Kevin Owens as the fans more and more are chanting for Sami to help his best friend. Then Roman Reigns picks up a steel chair, and he's about to give him the final blow with the steel chair. He said, "You've been holding him back. You've been holding him back. Why have you been holding Sami back? He's my family now. He's not your family anymore." And Sami steps in front of Roman Reigns and says that this is beneath him. He says, "You're the undisputed universal champion. You're better than this." Roman thinks about it a bit, and he says, "You know what? You're right. I shouldn't do this." You should. Hands him the steel chair, and Sami pauses a bit. We get a brief moment where it looks like Sami is about to hit Roman instead of Kevin, but he's still hesitating, and Roman gets in his face. He starts mushing Sami, saying, "Do this. Do you want to go back to that jackass bullshit you were doing? Do it. Do it. Let him out of your life. He's holding you down. This is going to make you a part of the bloodline." And just when Roman is starting to talk trash to Kevin Owens again and tell him that Sami's about to do it, Sami Zayn hits Roman Reigns in the back with the steel chair. Shades of Seth Rollins breaking up the Shield, with Roman even doing the same cell that he did. And this shot right here, this is going to be an iconic shot in WWE history. Sami Zayn choosing to hit Roman Reigns in the back with the steel chair. Roman Reigns looking shocked as he sells it, and then Sami drops the chair. He looks at Jey Uso and he tells him, "I'm sorry." And Jey tells him, "You did this to my family. What are you doing? You did this to my family." And then out of nowhere, Jimmy Uso hits Sami Zayn with a super kick. He then tells Jey, he says, "This is supposed to be your brother. I'm your brother. I'm your brother. He ain't your brother. I'm your brother." Roman Reigns selling in the corner with the same sell that he did at Hell in a Cell 2020 when he faked out Jimmy Uso, if you remember, during the Hell in a Cell match with Jey Uso. This is the same thing that he did with holding his hands to his head, selling it in the same way. So many callbacks in this one scene. Then you get Jimmy Uso raining down strikes onto Sami. Solo Sikoa pulls Jimmy off of Sami, and he picks up Sami. He delivers a Samoan spike. All the while, Jey Uso is in the corner, conflicted. The man that told everybody that Sami didn't deserve to be in the bloodline. That Sami worked and worked to get Jey on his side, and now Jey could not even join on the beatdown of Sami because he had grown to love Sami like a brother. The whole bloodline tells him to join them, and Jey instead walks away with tears in his eyes. He is heartbroken. He is heartbroken and conflicted. Out of all of this, he cannot even take part in the beatdown, and this just pisses off Roman even more. He tells Sami, "You broke my family. You did this. You broke my family." He nails Sami with like 9 to 10 chair shots. He rains down strikes onto Sami, and then the final scene was Roman tearing apart the lei that was supposed to be for the honoraries, that was supposed to be the symbol of Sami Zayn officially joining the bloodline. He rips it apart. and Sami and KO are finally back together, but they have been completely destroyed by the Bloodline as the Bloodline walk out to end the show. My Lord. The reaction from the fans, the fuck you Roman chants, the heat for this segment. Oh my God. Chef's kiss. I said this to Jimmy Macaram. Jimmy Macaram was actually watching this live, and he texted me. He said, that was the greatest thing ever. And I responded with Austin versus McMahon, the Bloodline saga. The greatest two storylines in WWE history. I have said it. Mic drop. It's the greatest storyline in WWE history, right next to Austin and McMahon, the storyline that helped WWE defeat WCW. This is on that level, just the level of storytelling, the level of character depth. It's like a novel. It reads like a novel, a story that started all the way back in 2020 with Jay and Roman. Then we had the Paul Heyman being in between Brock and Roman, and then the Sami inclusion that started in April of 2022 of Sami just being Randall from Recess and snitching on RK Bro and Drew McIntyre to the Tribal Chief. And now we have come 9 months later to this moment and this turn. This is one of the greatest in-ring angles WWE has ever done. 5 stars, 6 stars. This is a 6-star angle at the Royal Rumble to end the show. Beautiful. Krssi Luv, what was your thoughts on the match, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, and then this angle?
The match was cool. Great job to that part. It is the ending that transcended the whole show over to like the peak. The show was good, but this I think made it like put it over like a little. It gave it more points than it needed. I feel like this was the great way to close out the show. You couldn't have put this in the beginning. Everything was put in the right places. Everything was put in the right places. You couldn't have opened the show with this. You couldn't. All the elements to this whole show wouldn't have been the same if this was at the beginning. We knew the ending was coming. We just didn't know how it's going to be executed. And they executed it with, no one would have thought that Jay would have been the one that left. I had to go back and rewatch that ending over because we were all over the place on the watch along. We were just everywhere. I didn't remember who hit who first when it was which twin did what. It was Jimmy. I didn't know Jimmy was the one that super kicked Sami, and then Jay was just watching. It was only him and Solo that was beating up on Sam. I was like, oh, there's so much elements to this story. Like they're just peeling back the layers. Long-term storytelling at its finest. They haven't done this in years. I mean, years. The video packages for this, they're going to be at least 7 minutes long. These are going back to Attitude Era packages like this. Like you said, I agree with you. McMahon, Stone Cold, they are like right on the A and B. And someone must have said in the comments, it reminded them of like New Jack City of when this happened. It was like, yo, I'm your brother. Like CMB, that's all we got. Like, what you doing? Like, damn, this was so good. This was so good.
Cinema, art.
Art. This was like a movie. Like this was like we watched a movie ending last night. I can't wait for what's gonna happen. Part 2. How we do
this is basically the start of the real angle now, right. where Sami is now the baby face, and we could possibly.
But then the baby face like the whole time, just in. Oh my! How are they going to do? What are they going to do next? They better not fuck this up. Don't fuck this up.
Josh, what was your thoughts on this final angle and the Owens and Reigns match?
I mean, the match was okay. I was just more focused on what was going to happen after, and they executed perfectly. You had everything that they needed to finally get Sami out of the bloodline. But then also, I mean, it goes back to what I said earlier. I was just like, when the speculation was like, oh my God, The Rock doesn't come at the end or Stone Cold's gonna come at the end, and you didn't need none of that shit. You didn't need none of that stuff. So that's why when I said it was fair, that's what I meant by fair. Because I'm like, you don't need these. Like I said, you don't need these heavy hitters.
Yep, you don't need them.
You don't need these. You don't need these heavy hitters to try to push over an angle that wasn't really needed. Like, you don't need The Rock for this because there's no involvement with him to be needed. And this was the main focus. This was the main focus of what they're gonna do next. I thought Jay, that was probably the most surprising part, that they had him like leave. But I think they're gonna find a way to bring him back into the full circle, and that's how the tag match at WrestleMania ends up happening. So I'm still interested to see how that happens. And it was a great ending. Like, if you're going to end the show, that's the best way to end it. And I thought that was great.
Pitch perfect. Everybody's in agreement in the live chat right now. Ness, what was your thoughts on Roman and Kevin Owens main event, and then this epic post-match segment?
So yeah, the match itself, I gave it 3.5. I think it was good. It was a decent match. But the post-match, like you said, 5-star angle. There's nothing less than 5 stars. There's so much going on in the storyline. Again, like, you guys have touched on everything for the most part. I'll just start from where because I don't really watch the main roster shows like that. But coming into it, knowing that like Jimmy and Sammy were cool. Jay was the one mainly against it.
Yep.
That whole scenario being flipped to Jimmy being the first one to strike Sammy out of the whole scenario, and then Solo's just always been on the fence.
Yeah,
so I'm not even surprised that like he was just like, fuck it, it's my turn to kick his ass. But Jay not putting a hand on him, and then
main event Jay is coming.
And honestly, I want to say this, and it's just me spitballing and just like talking shit. Owens really wasn't right. Like, he was like, oh, they're going to use you. Like, no, they're like, look, we just need you to prove that you're loyal to us.
Right.
So they weren't going to, like, their quote unquote speculation of his loyalty really came from Sammy. It all came down from Sammy. It was Sammy that didn't really prove his loyalty to them. So that's why it was going. It wasn't the fact that, the Bloodline's like, oh, we're just going to use you to get what we want, and then we're just going to throw you to the side. Like, no, we want you to prove that we can actually trust you.
Right.
And it took a while. Like back in War Games, that was a nice little another chapter in the whole scenario of everything that was going on. But it was just like, all right, now too much shit is happening. We don't know if that was real. So now we need you to actually go above and beyond and prove that again. He couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he tried to go after the big dog, the head of the table.
Yep.
You go after the big boss. All the, especially being his family, they're not going to go for that.
Yep.
You're gonna shoot. You got to aim high. You better not miss. And he ain't missed that chair shot, but Jimmy ain't missed that super kick. So, but like, I really wish that they didn't do this last night. And the only reason, I don't see how they're gonna drag this out. I don't want it to be dragged out until Mania. And I feel as though like there's a point that might happen. Like, let's say, like, let this happen in February, or something like that. I get that it's a big 4 pay-per-view and you want a big angle to go over. And yes, they can drag it out for the next 3 months. I just don't want them to overdo it and then make it to the point where we get to Mania and it's just like, all right, well, we know what's going to happen, or right, I want this match to be over or want it to happen. But just like Josh says, I think there's a way that they can get everybody back into it with Jimmy walking away, or I'm sorry, Jay walking out, and him being conflicted. That's where I'm at mostly, and everything. Like, the one that didn't want him in the family at all, didn't put a hand on him, was the one that had to walk away, and he just seemed like the most distraught over everything. And it has my emotions all over the place. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been this invested in a story from WWE in quite some time. Very. And I'm glad that like it has everybody that's my favorites in it. Uso's my favorite tag team in WWE. Roman, one of my favorites. KO, one of my favorites. Sami, one of my favorites. Solo Sikoa being a nice up and coming star coming out of NXT. So like, it's a lot going on here that has main event everything around it. Even if a main event can happen with the Usos versus Sami and KO, that can actually happen. But it's just like, man, it's so much of this story that I hope they treat it correctly. I don't want it to get stale, because this is like the best thing they've had, and probably in over
ever.
or ever. Like you said, McMahon, Austin, Bloodline.
Yeah, like I saw somebody in the chat say they think it's top 5, not top 2, but I couldn't give you 3 more that's
Right.
on the
What else
level
you?
of these
Yeah.
2. Like, I really can't. You could say Brian and the Authority in recent memory, but that was kind of forced upon them. They didn't create
even want
this
to do it.
storyline. Yeah, they didn't even want to do that. Like, this is a 3-year angle nearly coming into this summer. If they're still going on, it'll be a 3-year angle that they started from Roman coming back in the pandemic, the whole rivalry with Jay coming on board. Then you had Jimmy coming back, Jimmy eventually coming on board. They got the bloodline. Then you had the drama with Paul Heyman in the middle of Brock and Roman, that little series of matches there. And then you had Sami getting introduced in April, and then the slow progression of Sami just being, the honorary ooze, then finally being accepted at Survivor Series, and then this breakup. It's just pitch perfect. Everybody's played their roles so great. And we got a good question here from Annika, who says, how the freak is Cody going to fit into this? Because they're at this point where they have built Sami as such a big baby face. Do you think that WWE should think about pulling an audible and getting Sami into the main event in any way? What do you say, Josh?
No. Because the whole aspect of everything, the whole aspect of everything that I've been saying, right, is that with Sami Zayn, I mean, the whole build up to that is also for him and KO to reunite. So you focus on that. You focus on that, and then everything between them will come full circle when they win those tag titles. Regardless of what people want to say, regardless of what people, what they want, hey, Sami Zayn should be the world champion. Like I said, the way I look at WWE and the way that I view WWE as I gotten older is they're going to do what they feel like is best for their business.
Yep.
And to put in Sami Zayn in the spot like that probably is not what they're looking for, because let's face it, he's a likable guy. Like I said, he's a likable guy. He's a likable character. But when it comes to bringing in the cash, he's not really doing that. I mean, he's with the bloodline, yeah, but he's not doing that as an individual. In regards to somebody like Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes by far is their biggest babyface in the company, and the merch backs that up. Not only the amount of merch that they have for him, but the amount of merch that he's selling. So that's what they're gonna go for. And when it comes to Sami Zayn, I think the whole purpose of him and KO reuniting, and the way that I think all of that is gonna come full circle for them, I think probably matters more for them than him getting a main event spot that he's probably gonna lose. I wouldn't want to put Sami Zayn in the spot like that. And he doesn't really need it. He doesn't.
Honestly, if it's for the Undisputed Universal Championship, I think Cody's going to lose too.
I'm saying, but I mean,
unless it's for one title, I don't see, because they literally on commentary said that Roman's 146 days away from breaking Pedro Morales' WWE title reign from 1972.
Yeah, but that's also I think when it comes to that, I think they're gonna have to do like a probably the WWE title, just because it will be less than a year that he has that. The Undisputed title, he's had it for almost 3 years. So I think that's what's probably going to end up happening, which I'll be fine with. Cody doesn't need both titles. I think Cody already said he's going, what the title he was already going for, because it has to do with his dad's legacy. So that makes more sense. But it's just, the whole aspect of Sami Zayn is somebody who doesn't really need that spot. He doesn't need the main event. He doesn't need those things for obvious reasons. So for him to be in a situation where kind of makes more sense anyway, not only with the KO thing, but also with him and Jay, that was a bigger story between him and Jay, and then them to have a match on a big stage like that, I think that would make a lot more sense, and I think that's something that he probably would prefer himself. So, I mean,
we got Romeo in the chat who makes a good point. Honestly, give me Sami KO versus the Usos main eventing a night of Mania. It's such a big story that you can. And Sean makes another great point with JB and the Outlier. It puts the focus back on the Usos, Sami, and KO. Because I think we get the championship match in Montreal at Elimination Chamber with Sami and Roman, and I think we get a moment in that match. The referee is down, and Jay comes in and says, "I'm sorry. I love you," and super kicks Sami right in the face and costs Sami the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. And that's how we get to the tag team match at Mania.
Exactly. And exactly, that would be more meaningful. I know somebody, when I made a post about it, when I posted that meme with me and Romeo saying like the best we could do is a tag team match at WrestleMania, I wasn't saying that as a shot. I was saying that because if people really thought he was gonna win the Royal Rumble, I'm like, you guys, I don't know what you guys are looking at, because he definitely was not an option. He was not an option to win the Royal Rumble. He wasn't even in the match. So that was like where I was coming from when it came to that. So I think people sometimes they set their expectations way too high for somebody that they like, and that's why when they don't get what they want, that's why they get pissed off. And this is like when it comes to WWE, you guys got to keep your expectations either middle or low. So then when that doesn't happen, you're not disappointed. You know what I mean? Like that's just what it comes down to. That's just what it comes down to.
You guys said it best yesterday on True Heat. Just keep your expectation at shit, low as shit, then you won't be. Is no room for excitement because it's already low.
You'll never get disappointed.
Exactly.
Frantic World asking about Mankind title win. That was a moment. You're getting confused with a moment and an actual storyline. This is why the Bloodline saga that's going nearly 3 years is on the level of Austin and McMahon. You're talking about one moment because it wasn't really like a great big, triumphant buildup to the Mankind and the Rock rivalry was just for the Rock to get to WrestleMania to face Austin. It wasn't about Mankind and the Rock. So you're talking about a moment. We're talking about a storyline here. That's why I'm saying it's on the level of Austin and McMahon.
Yeah, that makes sense because, and also like with the amount of time that has been building up, I mean, that's why you go for that. And I know there was somebody in the chat earlier that was like, he looked like he was complaining about it when you said that's probably number 2. Like when you said the Vince and Austin, I know there was somebody complaining where they're bringing up like Brett and Owen. I mean, Brett and Owen was great, but let's be real. Nobody really talks about that. Right. Nobody really talks about that storyline. We talk about the match itself, but we don't talk about the storyline because storyline, it was good, but it wasn't what this level of storytelling has been where, like you said, it started at 2020. When it came to that, it wasn't a long story, and we kind of saw where it was going. It was still great. The payoff was still great. Don't get me wrong, but and I know he brought up Triple H and Shawn Michaels, which I mean that's what it was. That
got stale as fuck by the end.
Exactly.
We got a 47-minute Hell in a Cell match that I will never watch again in my fucking life. Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. And that's what I'm like, people are getting confused.
Their best match was their first match at SummerSlam 2002. So how do you say that?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what people are getting confused with. We're not talking when it came to those storylines, it was about the more the matches itself. When it comes to this, it's been more of what the storyline has been. And I think that's where people are getting confused with. And I think, again, it's wrestling. You shouldn't take it personal. If somebody has an opinion on, hey, I think this is top 5 or top 2, I mean, you can have a debate. There's always a room to have a debate, but to get like upset because you don't agree with it, that's always been weird to me. Yeah. So it's like you could always disagree. Again, you could always disagree, but to be like super angry about it is like not that serious, my guy. Not that serious.
Drew in the chat saying, my question is, how do they split the titles, or do they just not? Because Sami being Universal Champion and Cody being WWE Champion serves both storylines, in my opinion. They should not split the titles before
No,
WrestleMania.
no,
I keep
no.
going on
Yeah.
this because it's going to be convoluted. The only
Yeah.
way they can split the titles is if Cody being the Royal Rumble winner, he can pick what title he goes for. So if he says, I only want to go for the WWE Championship, one, I will say the downside to that is Cody looks like an idiot because you're going to beat Roman and not get both titles. Why would you not want to get both
And
titles?
the only way I could see it too, the only way I could see it too is that they do it similar to what they did with the tag titles, where they kind of acknowledge the fact, because the Usos kept fucking shit up. Remember, they kept coming to Raw. Now they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do a tournament for the Raw, just for the Raw tag titles. I think if you do a scenario like that too, where there's some type of acknowledgement that that the titles are kind of being defended individually, I think you could do something like that to finally trying to get that out of the way. It's just, again, they shot themselves in the foot by making Roman double champion, then make it, and then also on the top of on top of making it undisputed. Now, it wouldn't have been a big deal if it was still acknowledged as two different titles.
Yeah.
But the moment that you kind of acknowledge it as the undisputed title, that's where they shot themselves in the foot. Because undisputed technically means one. It means one title. So now, like, that's the exactly. And that's what they got to figure it out. Yeah.
The only way you could get it done by Mania is Cody just going for one title. But I mean, the best option is just wait till after WrestleMania, the draft, and separate the titles. You could do it that way. And I agree with GWC here. He says, why not let Roman stay as champion to at least try and tie Bruno's record? I don't think he's going to tie Bruno's record, but that 1,000-day reign happens on May 27th. He's at least got to get to that. He's at least got to get to that 1,000-day.
Right, he got to get to the 1,000. So, like you said, most likely they will lose at WrestleMania. But maybe he can win at like SummerSlam.
Because I think GWC is not realizing that Bruno's record means we have to deal with Roman as champion for 4 more years, because Bruno held the title for 7 years. We're just going to 3 years by this summer if Roman still has it. We don't need 4 more years of Roman as champion for him to tie Bruno. But tying the Pedro Morales record, that's doable. But that brings us to a close on our roundtable review right here. Everyone in the live chat, sound off. Give us your match of the night, MVP, LVP, and whether you gave the show a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and out of 10, what did you give the show? And of course, last call for super chat donations. We've had about 111 people, live viewers, during this stream here. So remember, guys, don't forget to drop the thumbs up on the video, share it with your friends, and if you're watching on demand, comment down in the comments down below. Let us know what you thought about the Royal Rumble 2023. But let's start with our thumbs in the middle, guys, for WWE Royal Rumble 2023 in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board from all of us. We'll start with Miss Krssi Luv. Out of 10, what did you give the show?
7.5.
7.5 out of 10 for Miss Krssi Luv.
Yep.
Nest?
7.5.
Josh?
I gave it a 7.
I'll be the high man. I'll go with an 8 out of 10. That final segment. That final segment, man.
That final segment, yeah. That's what made the show go over. That's what made, again, I said it in the beginning. I said it before. The show was good, but the ending made the show.
It was only
better.
It's a 7. It's a 7 for me.
I said it in the past. WWE, the best booking shows they do is when they bookend it with fantastic stuff. So if the first thing is great and the last thing is great, you could forget about crap in the middle. So I'm not going to go higher than 8 because it still has a big major dud size shit in the middle of it. But 8 out of 10 because they booked.
That's why I gave it a 7. That's what I gave it a 7 because that pitch back match we didn't need. And the women's title match, that should have been like a Raw. That was a Raw match. You could have put that on Monday Night Raw. We didn't need that. And that was about it for me. That's why.
All right. What was your match of the night, Miss Krssi Luv?
Men's Royal Rumble.
Josh?
Men's Royal Rumble.
Ness, you already gave it away, but
Men's Royal Rumble.
It's unanimous. The Men's Royal Rumble is the match of the night. MVP of the show, Ness.
Rhea Ripley. From being number 1, going the distance.
Josh?
Rhea and Cody for winning the Royal Rumble matches.
Miss Krssi Luv.
Gunther.
I gotta go with co-MVP for Gunther, Rhea Ripley for winning the Women's Royal Rumble, and Jey Uso. Jey Uso deserves an Academy Award for his performance.
Yeah.
Just what are you doing to my family?
Yeah, no. They all need awards for that. Like everyone
God.
played. Everyone played their role. You know how you have the movie and everyone in the cast was great. This is that movie right here. Everyone has played their role perfectly. Yeah, they have to get honorary. Them too. Yeah, him. Yeah, so
That's supporting actor right there.
Yep,
that's supporting actor.
That's the best supporting actor.
Matter of fact, it's Gunther, Rhea Ripley, and everyone in this final segment. Everyone in this final segment played it to a T. Even Paul Heyman, who didn't say anything. Paul Heyman's reactions to everything.
Someone said not too long ago, all the greatest actors are the ones that don't even say anything. He's one of them. He's one of them. Those, even when the match was happening, his facial expressions, he was on the rope like this, like.
I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. Schmelly, we acknowledge you, my tribal chief. He was gushing over that shit. Oh my God. LVP of the show. We'll start with Josh.
LVP, that Bray Wyatt match.
He gave it to an entire match.
Right. Not a person, but a match. Yeah.
Is it Krssi Luv?
Chelsea Green.
Ness.
I got Chelsea Green. You came back. This is what you came back to. This is what you came back for. Good luck.
You had creative
good luck.
Stability where you were, and then this made you. Yeah, you deserve this, sis. Right on. You look great though.
You look good. You look good. It's totally fine. Yeah. I gotta give it to Bray Wyatt. I'm sorry, the greatest, and then the bell rings wrestler of all time, of all the times. Pitch Black match goes up there in his Mount Rushmore of horrible matches. But that is all for our Royal Rumble 2023 Roundtable review. We got James Jones, who says, I gave the show 8, having no show 8 in a long time. So he gave it 8 out of 10. John Elite says the Women's Royal Rumble was his match of the night. We got Rickety, who gives Gunther MVP for going the distance. John Elite gives it to Gunther and Rhea Ripley. We got Annika, who gave it to Clown Asuka. Just call it Kana, keep it simple. Kana. King Ellie Show says Rumble was a 7.5 out of 10. Hopefully we don't get a triple threat match as the main event of Mania. Might be forced to
We're not
again.
getting it. Yeah.
Might be forced to again, if the crowd takes over. We got Dolores, who says the MVP, the whole main event acting. Absolutely. I agree with you there. And we also got Dolores, who says LVP Uncle Howdy for missing a trust fall.
Missing the trust fall. Wow, Dolores, that's a good one. He missed he definitely missed the trust fall.
John Elite says Nia Jax botch return, and Film Nation says LVP Pitch Black match, to be honest. So thank you everyone for joining us. This was a very successful live stream. We appreciate you guys for joining us. And always remember, after the major WWE shows, we'll be locked here. So next one, Elimination Chamber, we'll have a roundtable review on the Sunday after that. We also do roundtable reviews for AEW pay-per-views. So we'll be doing our first one for that, for Revolution. And you get live streams and streams every single day on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. So if you're new, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. Miss Krssi Luv, please let the people know where they can follow you on social media.
Okay, well, you can catch me every Saturday at 11:05 with my tag team partner, SP, as we do True Hill Heat, our flagship show. I will be back with my other tag partner, which is Stephanie Hypes, on Sunday for Serving Face and Heels. Some roundtables, some watch-alongs. But other than that, it's True Hill Krssi Luv on Twitter and Krssi Luv _1 everywhere else.
Josh,
so much fun, guys.
Yes, this was a blast. Josh?
JM Punk 321 Twitter and Instagram. Every Mondays Rated Raw Superstars, and every Wednesday Elite Heat. You can find me on the True Heat channel.
Yes, the hard-working man there. We got Ness. Where can they find you, sir?
Guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, skinny__Kravitz, right here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel every Tuesday for NX3. Myself, Chris G, Romeo Anthony Colon, we go live watching NXT. You can catch me on at True Hill Heat Gaming at twitch.tv every Thursday. Myself and Chris G, we go live watching Impact Wrestling. My part-time job that I called out of work last week after saying I'd be there, Elite Heat, every other Wednesday or so. I joined Drunk Guy, Romeo, and Josh. We watch.
You called out? You called out?
I called out after. I said I.
No. That ain't no damn call out. That's a damn no show. That's what that is. Don't try to pull that bullshit.
No call, no show.
No call, no show.
No call, no show.
You know,
that's what you did.
For that. But he
didn't even acknowledge it to the next day. What are you talking about? He didn't even acknowledge it to the next day.
Scouts honor. I'll be there this week because I want to see Daniel Bryan. I'm sorry, excuse
me.
Bryan Danielson.
Yeah. We'll see about that.
Scouts honor.
Scouts honor, y'all. Like Ness said, follow us over at twitch.tv/True Hill Heat Gaming. We're going to start putting some of our watch alongs over there, so you can check us out over there. If you don't, check us out on YouTube or Facebook. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at True Hill SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at True Hill Heat. We're going live. We're live in a couple of minutes over on True Hill Heat Gaming for the NFL playoffs. It's the final games before the Super Bowl, so we're going to set up the Super Bowl over there. You can check out Romeo and the gang. They'll be live over there. Of course, if you want to help out the True Hill Heat gang, the best way to do that is patreon.com/True Hill Heat. $3 a month, exclusive content. The True Hill Heat 210 post show is up right now. We got a Pro Wrestling Noah Bye Muda review that's going to be up tomorrow. So much to offer over there. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat. And check out all the great content we got on demand right now. You can check out myself and Wendy, Josh's better half, over on our Jay Briscoe Celebration of Life recap that dropped on Friday. And check us out tomorrow. We got Rated Raw Superstars, 8 p.m. Eastern time, as we're going to watch WWE Raw with all the fallout from the Royal Rumble. And of course, check out myself and Miss Krssi Luv, along with special guest Kenny McIntosh of Inside the Ropes.
Happy birthday!
Yes, happy birthday to Kenny McIntosh, who joined us yesterday for our Royal Rumble preview. We talked about all the week in wrestling, the Jay Briscoe tribute on AEW Dynamite, the Tribal Court, and we did Fuck, Marry, Kill, and that was the wrong time for Josh to click on the stream. But thank you so much to Josh, to Miss Krssi Luv, to Ness. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. This has been our WWE Royal Rumble 2023 Roundtable review.